Jason Garrett, every Monday during the season. San Antonio's sports leader, 1250 ESPN San Antonio. Presented by AA Best Bail Bonds, mybestbailbonds.com. The Blitz, Dat Win, Jason Minix, San Antonio's sports leader, 1250 ESPN San Antonio.
It is the Blitz, 1250 ESPN San Antonio in the O'Reilly Auto Parts mobile studios. We're at Ojos Locos, 410 and Bandera Road, along with former Cowboy linebacker Dat Win. I'm Jason Minix. Let's talk about yesterday's season opening loss. 28-17, Cowboys lose to the San Francisco 49ers. We'll talk about it with the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, Jason Garrett, joining us now. Brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds. Coach, I know every coach will tell you can't win when you lose the turnover battle. The 3 interceptions that Tony Romo threw looked to be in coverage, all 3 of them. What did he tell you he was seeing on those 3 plays?
Well, they were poor decisions on Tony's part, and he'd be the first to tell you that. You know, we came out of play action, and, when he looked for the vertical throw, whether it was Dez or whether it was Dwayne Harris or Witt or Dez on the third one, he just had his eyes down the field, and they did a good job getting up underneath those and covering them. And, ultimately he made poor decisions. So, didn't see the field real well on those and didn't make great decisions, and those were big plays in the game.
Coach, when you look at the game afterwards, it's always never as bad as you think, or it's never as good as it seems. What are the positives that you came out of that game last night for you, Coach?
Well, the game, the story of the game is about the turnovers. There's no question about that, and we have to make sure we address that. We had done a fairly good job of that for the most part last year, and Tony did a good job of that last year, and we just got to make sure we correct that. But, having said that, you have to evaluate the whole game and watch plays individually and watch players individually on each play, and there were some good things. We had 9 possessions in the game, and on 4 of those possessions we had drives of 10 plays or more, and I thought we had a good mix of the run and the pass to run the ball as well as we did against a team like that. I thought was impressive, and I thought the balance was good for the most part on offense until it got, the score got so skewed at the end that we had to throw. I thought the defense did some good things. They were put in a bad situation early on in the game. A fumble that gets returned for a touchdown, and an interception that gets returned to the 1-yard line. San Francisco did have a quick drive where they made a lot of yards and a quick touchdown, but other than that, I thought our guys hung in there. They challenge you a lot of different ways. They use personnel groups and formations and unbalanced lines and a lot of different motions. And, I thought our guys did a good job identifying that stuff, staying in the gaps, and really making them work for it. So if you take away the turnovers and the easy opportunities we gave them, and then the missed opportunity we had with the turnover in the end zone going in, that's the story of the game. But beyond that, there were some good things. Obviously, a lot of things we got to clean up, and we'll do that tomorrow when the players come in.
Dallas Cowboys head coach Jason Garrett with us here on 1250 ESPN San Antonio. You talk about trying to clean some things up, and obviously the turnovers are the big story. And coaches, you try to prepare for everything. I've heard you say that many times. Can you prepare for a scenario like you saw yesterday with all the turnovers early in the game?
Well, the biggest thing we always try to emphasize is you play one play at a time, and you don't look at the scoreboard. You just play, and you do your job. You got 11 guys on each play doing your job, and regardless of what happened on the previous play, success or adversity, you have to go play the next play. So, we were challenged with that a lot. A second play of the game, they pick up a fumble and run it back in. You have to respond, and you have to just get on to the next one. Somehow, some way, you have to put that play behind you. And the same thing goes when you have a successful play. Say we had made that play, we'd be saying the same thing, that we got to get to the next play and keep playing the game. And, I thought our team did a good job of that. We responded to that turnover early on in the game with a 12, 13, 14 play drive. We went down and we kicked a field goal. And, with the subsequent adversities, I think our guys did that, really in all 3 phases. They kept playing, and we battled back and tried to give ourselves a chance at the end. But, you really do dig yourself a hole, but I do think our guys responded the right way.
Dallas Cowboy head football coach Jason Garrett joining us here on 1250 ESPN, ESPNSA.com. Coach, I thought you guys played very well in the second half, being down 28-3 at the half. What did you tell your players in the locker room for them to come out and play as well as they did the second half?
Well, again, the biggest thing is you have to clean the slate, and you have to play with a clear mind and go play the first play. The first play was kickoff. Okay, kickoff team, let's get going. You do your job, and then let's get a stop on defense, one play at a time, and then let's go back to work on offense. You know, there were some positive things that we could build on. You know, if you remove those big difference-making plays, those turnovers, and you strip the game away of those, there were some good things. Of the first 25 plays we ran on offense, 19 of them were efficient. Now, you say, what happened on the other 6? Well, 4 of them were turnovers. So those are big plays. Not all plays are equal. We understand that. But there were some positive things to build on. I think DeMarco had close to 100 yards rushing in the first half. So, you know, we wanted to continue to do that and just somehow, some way make some stops and give ourselves a chance to get back in the game.
Jason Garrett, Cowboys head coach, with us here on 1250 ESPN. And again, you know, and it's easy when you look at the game and all the positives that were there, but, you know, you focus on what killed a lot of those drives, especially those interceptions. When you look at Tony Romo, the decision making, you said, you know, he'll be the first to say it was a poor decision. Being a veteran quarterback, and you know him so well, you've worked with him for so long, were you surprised? Do you say something to him during the game to try to figure out why he was playing that way? I know there were a lot of questions last night after the game, Coach, about his lack of work in OTAs coming off the back surgery and his preseason practice schedule.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is you try to evaluate the plays individually, and you ask them what you saw in that and what led to that decision. And, you know, not only on the individual play and how it stacks up against the defense they were playing, but also when you weigh in what the situation is. And, you know, those are first down plays. If it's not there, you know, check the ball down or throw the ball away and give ourselves a chance to live another day. And, you know, sometimes as a quarterback, you don't see things quite as well from that pocket when there are people around you and you're seeing down the field, and you make some throws like that. So the biggest thing was to try to address with him during the game what he was seeing, what was leading to those decisions, and then try to correct it and move on as quickly as you can.
You guys were in a lot of situations, especially on defense, where you had them in 3rd and long. Usually during those times, 3rd and 6+, 7+, you would like to bring the pressure at the quarterback, make a decision, throw the ball and tackle and get off the field. It seems like you guys were playing more zone defenses. Was there a reason for that, Coach?
Well, one of the things that they challenge with you so much is the quarterback running, and you know better than I do that when you play a lot of man coverage and there's man-to-man across the board, and, you know, you lose vision on the quarterback. So we tried to mix man and zone throughout the game to make sure that we could account for some of those scrambles that, you know, Kaepernick has been so good at through his career. And, you know, if you watch tape on these guys on 3rd down, some of their best conversions come when teams play man-to-man, and he just simply breaks the pocket and runs for the first down. So we felt like it was important to mix the man, mix the zone, and try to keep him a little bit off balance. And when we play zone, make sure you keep eyes on the quarterback to prevent some of those runs. And, you know, that's one of the things, one of the ways they challenge you is most weeks you don't have to worry that much about that. You can play the best coverage to take away the throw, but with him you always have to factor in his ability to run the football for those first downs. So we tried to have a mix there. Sometimes they did a good job making stops. Other times they did a good job converting on us.
Dallas Cowboys head coach Jason Garrett here on 1250 ESPN. So much talk going into the season about the defense. A lot of people expecting it to struggle. How much better could it be this year than last year when you lose guys like DeMarcus Ware or Jason Hatcher? Did they surprise you with how well they played yesterday as a unit on the defensive side?
Well, I thought we battled. There's no question about that. You know, we played with a rotation up front on the defensive line and played some different guys at the linebacker spot, and I thought they competed well. I thought they played a physical brand of football. We tackled fairly well, you know, against a good physical football team. You know, the challenge that they present is the quarterback run and a variety of different personnel groups and movements that they'll use. So I thought we were pretty good at containing the quarterback on his runs and then pretty good, handling some of the different looks that they present to us. They were able to convert some third downs to keep drives alive, and they did have that fairly quick scoring drive in the first half. So obviously we have to address those things and get better at it. But I was pleased with how we competed, how we battled in a lopsided game to try to give us a chance to win that thing at the end.
Dallas Cowboy head football coach Jason Garrett joining us here on 1250 ESPN and ESPNSA.com. Coach, I'd agree with you with the linebacker play. I thought Bruce Carter, I thought Durant played real well, and McClain. And the status of Durant, he had an injury during the game. How is the status of the injury, Coach?
Well, we'll see. He hurt his groin in the game and missed, parts of that fourth quarter. So he was in for treatment today, and we'll just see how he responds to it. Like all these guys, we take these things day to day. So hopefully he responds well. When he comes in tomorrow, he'll be that much further along. But, we have to be ready to play some of the other guys if we lose him or some of these other injured players. And, that's a sign of a good football team. You can put the next guy in and you can kind of move along, as if there's no issue there. So we'll see what he does as the week goes on.
Is that the same injury that he hurt a year ago?
I don't know that it's exactly the same one, but it is his groin.
Jason Garrett here on 1250 ESPN San Antonio. First game, a full game, regular season game with Scott Linehan calling plays. And I know you guys evaluate everything from on the field to the coaching. How did you think everything went as far as Linehan getting the plays called into Tony Romo?
Yeah, I thought he did a good job. Again, we had some good long sustained drives where we mixed the runs and the passes, and I thought we were fairly efficient that way. I think we averaged over 6 yards per play, which is a positive number any week, particularly against a defense like that. So I thought there was a lot of positives. Again, we go back to the turnovers. Those are the things that marred the offensive performance, just like they did the team's performance. There were a couple of mechanical things that happened in the course of the game where we just need to be cleaner, and that's just the whole offensive unit. That's the coaches, the players, and everybody. But for the most part, pretty good. But we always can get better at all those things.
Dallas Cowboy head football coach Jason Garrett joining us here on 1250 ESPN San Antonio. Coach, before we let you go, there was that sequence in that play after that fumble return for a touchdown. You guys got the ball back. You guys drove 11 plays all the way down to the 1 yard line. It was 2nd and 1, and for some reason, did Tony change that play, that Justin Smith sack, or was that what happened in that play there in that 2nd down, Coach?
Well, without going into too many specifics about it, sometimes we'll call runs and sometimes we'll call passes, and sometimes there'll be, almost a run-pass option based on the look we get. And typically down in that tight red zone, as you know, teams will play some soft coverage on you where they'll drop and play coverage and rush 3 or 4, or they'll come after you completely. So, we feel like it's good for us to be able to get in and out of a run or a pass based on what they're playing. And in that particular case, it just didn't work out for it, didn't execute it as well as we needed to. And that really changed that situation completely, because I think we had 2nd and 1 on the 2, and it went into 3rd and 10, and obviously that situation changes dramatically, and your opportunity to convert not quite as good. So that certainly hurt us. After a good drive, you like to cash in on a touchdown, particularly after they get the free touchdown from us. It would have been nice to answer back with a score there, but didn't get that done there, and we got to work to continue to get that better.
Jason Garrett on the Blue Diamond Med Spa hotline. Coach, and down there it seemed like Tony was having trouble hearing, and on TV it looked like there were as many 49er fans in the AT&T Stadium as there were Cowboy fans. As a coach, do you look around and go, are we in Dallas or are we on the road? How did it feel from your perspective on the sideline?
Well, that's a situation that we have a lot. Dad knows this as well as I do, that when the Cowboys go on the road, there's a ton of Cowboy fans really all over this country. And so we get a lot of that on the road. And, my experience has been some of these marquee franchises in the league, the 49ers, the Packers, the Steelers, the Bears, some of these teams with great tradition, those teams travel well. They bring their fans, and they have fans from all over the place. And, I also think the fact that, our stadium is a desirable place for people to come see a game, I think that adds to it. And, our challenge as players and coaches is to make sure that we give our fans who were strong yesterday, a chance to cheer for some things and keep their guys quiet with our execution and our play. And at times we did that yesterday, and other times we didn't do it well enough.
Coach Jason Garrett, next week, hopefully we're talking about a win over Tennessee. Appreciate you taking some time with us this afternoon.
Great talking to you guys.
All right, good luck, Coach. Thanks.
Okay, take care.
Cowboys head coach Jason Garrett joins us every Monday. Brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds, 225-2121, or online, mybestbailbonds.com.
Jason Garrett, every Monday during the season. San Antonio's sports leader, 1250 ESPN San Antonio. Presented by AA Best Bail Bonds, mybestbailbonds.com.